Welcome to another Warcraft the audio commentary. Today, guys, we're going to be watching some game number 2 between a best of 3 for Ifeng Cup. Let's introduce our players. And once again, I'm sorry, but the mini-map's going to have to be one of those little things. We don't have an observer slot in this game either. On the left side of the map in the upper spot, we happen to have the pink elf. His name is going to be NAIDS. NAIDS. Which I like to think as grenades, not what his name is spelled as. So I'm not offensive. NAIDS. The map is, of course, Terranistan, and down in the lower right part of the map, we happen to have the blue human spawning in as the strong human. It's Yumiko. Kaboom, kabam, shabam, Yumiko. Yeah, that's for atmosphere. So we're going to turn the fog of war off again. Let me know if you guys like that, because I think in the early game, at least, it's kind of nice to have that, because if we're toggling back and forth, we can see things that otherwise are a little bit hard to catch on the minimap. For example, all the scouting, seeing exactly how much they see. I still wouldn't do it in a normal game, I don't think. Maybe if you guys are like really big fans of it, then maybe we would do a little bit of that. Maybe we could incorporate a little bit of that. I don't know. What do you call it? No AIDS. That's even better. Anyways, so we're gonna see a scout farm up in here. He's going for a tavern hero. Now on this map, a tavern hero, there are some choices. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know. Beastmaster, maybe. I'm still gonna assume Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger's like the #1 tavern hero for elf players for first hero. For good reason, it's really powerful. And this is another map where it's pretty gone on, because if we look, lots of little creeps, just loads and loads of little creeps you can kill very easily. But it could be a Beastmaster. Because you know, some of these aren't the best for the whatevers. Anyway, so Yumiko is aware of this. He knows that it's a late altar. He saw that because there's no altar. He hasn't even seen the altar yet, so he knows. He's like, yeah. Let's see. A panda! Well, it's Kesha Wild Barley. Kesha Wild Barley. There you go. Thank you, Grand Skayu, for the follow. You're great. So a panda. I'm not really sure what that means. So here's the thing. It used to be that you would occasionally see in league games a panda picked first against human players because they mass a bunch of footmen, and you know, if they go for the early expansion, then they have a bunch of militia. I would not be surprised if he scouts this and does not go for the expansion, but he probably will, because it looks like he's going for it. I don't know if he's actually seen the panda or not yet. I think he did. Or he's creeping this up. One of the nice things is this map is really easy to get level 3 on, actually. So with the Ancient of War creeping, gonna see the Archmage coming in here to try to cancel that the Ancient of War. There's no wisps here to repair, so that in fact will most likely go down. He's having a bit of a hard time killing it just from the trees there. If there was a wisp here, he's had plenty of time to bring one over here. How have you not killed this, and how have you not brought a wisp over here? What are you doing? He's not killing it. It's not going to die. It's actually not going to die. He actually saved it without a wisp. He's either incredibly brave, courageous, or he knew ahead of time that that wasn't enough DPS to kill it. I really don't know, but wow. I thought that was going to die. Anyway, so over here it looks like we are going to see the expansion attempt early on. Going to pick up the Claws of Attack +6 for the Archmage. Always fun. And down here, we're going to see the Town Hall. So he's going to be able to start teching eventually, but he's going to need a few Arcane Towers up here first, just to deal with the threat of the panda. Here comes the Wisp. Oh, the Wisp. And if we look over here, we can see that panda, he is level 2. Again, I'm really not against this first. I'm never against a panda first against human. I think it's one of those units, one of those heroes that always has its place. It's he's gone critical strike second, so I guess he's going for some kind of. He's actually massing quite a few archers as well. I don't know what he's doing. He wants to do some kind of early aggression, but he crept first. I don't know. If he's coming over here, there should be Arcane Towers finished pretty soon. Yeah, here they are. They're going to finish like no time. And then all of your mana is gone. But because he's gone for the critical strike and the dodge second as his skill, he can tank. He's not too worried about the Arcane Towers. And that's not really a bad idea either. But it's weird, isn't it? It's a weird play. It's a weird play. He's got some mercenaries. Mercenaries are naturally really powerful in the early game. Dude, I don't know. This is a heck of a strategy. It feels like a risk, because if this, I mean, if it doesn't work out, you have a high level panda, and then all you have to do is get your demon hunter second to level 3, and then you're kind of in the same spot. But the reason that's a little bit worse, in my opinion, is because the panda then is the one harassing. Normally we see the fast demon hunter who's harassing in the mid game. That's because the demon hunter moves really, really quickly. This is the panda moving with boots of speed. He's not that fast, and even though he has the critical strike second, he still doesn't do that much DPS. So, and he's big, so he's easy to surround. I don't know. It's questionable. He's over here. He's going to just take this Goblin Shredder in here. He's going to kill the Renegade Wizard. He bought it with a Wisp, but now he's going to repair it with the Wisp. That's a good bit of easy XP. That might pick him up to level 3. In fact, he's already level 3. Even better. Picking him up. He might even be able to finish the entire creep off. He does not have another Breath of Fire, though. For now, he's going to have to contend with fighting these defended footmen, going right for the Archmage. Now that is even more interesting. That actually might just make this kind of fair, a good strategy. The Archmage very low on life, and he's just gonna have to run away from that archer focus. Chasing him this far maybe is a little crazy, because he could have instead gone for those footmen, but he's gonna do what he wants. He's gonna keep chasing it. I guess he's waiting for another Breath of Fire and hopefully to get a crit and then, you know, a Breath of Fire and kill it, which could have worked if he was able to catch it, but he wasn't quite fast enough there. Down here we're seeing he is teching up. Did he take out that whole creep? He took out the whole creep. There's the Gloves of Haste and the Tome of Intelligence right there. So at some point we'll see him come down over there and pick it up probably. But using the Rejuvenation Scroll, he did do a Breath of Fire on this right here. Didn't really do a whole lot. Down here we're seeing this being attacked. Naturally the Hunter's Hall is going to go up. We're going to see that as well. That's important vision. It means that it's not going to be Druid of the Talon play most likely. Not out of the water just by scouting the Hunter's Hall. And the reason that you don't want to assume that it's not Druid of the Talon calls is because if they decide to play that hero focus strategy, and I don't know if that's what we're going to see, but if the elf decides to play that, a lot of the times what they'll do is they will pick up the attack upgrades for those archers and for those dots, because it is a ridiculous amount of DPS if they do that. He's coming over to the laboratory to pick up a Zeppelin as well as a Shredder. He's going to have a lot of wood. I mean, he's going to have a lot of wood. He's already at 640 wood, which is way more wood than he needs. But here he comes in pushing now. He's not going to have quite enough mana, so he may as well drop out at this point. He took a hit, so that was a little bit unfortunate. You can see he's trying to dodge stuff, the hits and stuff, but really he's just getting focused on the Zeppelin by the Arcane Tower. Not doing a whole lot except keeping the human at this sort of point, at this sort of position. Let's see here. So yeah, he's going to come back in. He's got enough for a Breath of Fire. Maybe, no, he was too short, and then he got hit by the Arcane Tower. At this point, absolutely no chance. But he does cancel those 2 Scout Towers, which is kind of nice, and he's even going to take him down. This is a lot of damage from the Shredder. One of the things we don't normally see too much of is fighting Shredders. It's a unit that does a lot of damage. It's pretty reasonable damage. It does DP. It's got a huge range, and for a quick item or a quick unit you can pick up 34 to 61. 600 HP, 3 armor. It's not bad. He's AOW creeping out this expansion for him. Let's look up here and see what's happening. Town Hall, there's only 2 Arcane Towers. 2 additional Scout Towers have been built if he decides to turn them into something. He's not really worried. Archmage is still at level 2. So this Panda's strategy has actually been pretty effective at keeping the human down, keeping the human contained, and keeping the human not at a high level, which I think is a pretty good idea. I mean, what is one of the things you want to do when you have the Demon Hunter play your harass is pretty much that was horrible. Losing 2 archers like that is really bad. It happens. Oh well, and they didn't even get the whole creep. But we do see the Archmage coming in. He's gonna go for the Ancient of War. Should be able to finish it off this time because he's got a footman there. He's gonna bring in the creep. He might not be able to kill that. But with the creeps, he absolutely can. And then he's going to start picking the creeps off, if he can, which I think he will be able to steal a little bit of that. And that could get him to level 3, which he needs desperately. Level 3 is so important. Having that higher level Archmage is a big deal. And this harass is doing a lot of work. It's slowing down the human's wood income. We can see he's sitting at 156 wood. Still trying to upgrade these towers. Still hasn't been able to do that. At 136 wood, this is absolutely crazy. It's it's insane the amount of damage he's doing. He's forcing more cancels, which is going to bring his wood back up, which is nice. Also, another thing is because he bought the shredder from down here, I don't think there's going to be another shredder. It looks like he wanted to pick one up, but guess what? It's just not there. He's going to almost lose that shredder. Not going to happen to actually lose it. And this is probably the point where that elf is going to just say, okay, well, it's time to back out at this point. But think about this. The human player is very low on wood. He doesn't really have the shredder. He has to wait for the cooldown on it, which is a fairly long cooldown. And instead of being able to go for that, he's going to have to go for improved lumber harvesting, which is now gold. But look how much gold he has. Well, whoops. He has 2,000 gold and 60 wood. This harass has been insane. And because of the fact that he went for the shredder, he took the shredder. Job's done. Boom, just like that. What a crazy harass. And I mean, and the Archmage he's made up for the experience now, because the elf player may have played a little bit sloppy over here. I think he was a little too greedy wanting that at Tree of Life, but what do I know? It did cost him quite a bit. Yumiko responded really, really well to this. But Master Bear's now on their way. This shredder has 10 life. Probably not a bad idea to repair it a little bit, just in case. He might be doing that because he obviously doesn't need to do anything else. Yeah, just keeping that at 10, a footman could walk in there and just knock that thing down. Anyway, so we have a couple Arcane Sanctums out here. Breakers are going to be the first choice. Breakers make the most sense. Breakers will shut down this panda first, like no tomorrow. He brings in that shredder that he had earlier on that he crept this out with. He's healed it all the way up. The elf sitting at 1,400 wood. The human sitting at 28 wood. 28 wood. It's not a lot of wood. It's enough to keep pumping out units in the Mount King, so he's not doing bad. It's just he has so much gold he can't spend right now. There's nothing he can do. He's got this Goblin Zeppelin. It's just getting some good intel, but that's about all it's doing. At this point, the human player, he pretty much knows exactly where the elf is. Does he know about this expansion, though? Well, look at this. He does now. He's like, hello, expansion attempt. And he needs to do something about that. But can he is another question. Because right now, he's got these 2 units. These guys could easily shut down that expansion if they get up there in time before it finishes. He's going to need to definitely use his Zeppelin to do that. And also, he needs to be careful not to lose his Zeppelin to these things right here, because that would have been really bad. Cutting a little bit risky here, and that's okay. It makes sense sometimes to make it risky, because it is going to pay off this time. If he gets caught by, that's not a Dryad, that is a bear. If that had been a Dryad, he just would have lost that Zeppelin, and both of those heroes would have gone down. They would not have died, but they would have fallen down, and unless he was pretty much right on top of it. It's an issue. Anyway, so let's see this. He's TPing back because he had a bunch of elf units in his base. Oh, NAIDS. That is wow. That is wow. That got out of there. Wow. Yumiko is probably not happy. He's like, are you serious? Because he TP'd in the back. Now he's going to have to burn a farm to get out. And man, that would have been bad. If the Zeppelin had died over water, then everything in it dies just instantly, and the XP goes to your opponent. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You got to be careful, though. You got to be careful to not let that happen. Zeppelin over here, there's nothing in it. He's just kind of keeping it around just to say, there you go. Nothing too much. It will go down as that second Zeppelin gets in there, does a bit of scouting information, intel, etc. This Arcane Sanctum is definitely going to go down, and that sorceress it was making is never going to see the light of day. We do have a bunch of elf units over here. We have freaking 6 breakers. 6 breakers, a Mountain King, a level 4 Archmage. Is that going to be enough to take down this army force? It could easily be. He's got another 2. It's easily going to be enough to force the elf player out of this position. The question is, how much damage is the elf player going to be able to do right now? He needs to buy time because that expansion that he had is not up. He doesn't have one right now. And Yumiko is going to win the game if it goes late and the elf doesn't make something happen. So if he gets pushed out here, which he is, he's not really killing anything either. He kind of pushed the Archmage out a bit, lost an archer, almost killed a sorceress, but that might just get healed up if a priest comes out at some point, or he even could, and he's probably just going to buy scroll regeneration because that Archmage is kind of low, and then that'll get healed up. So there it is. There's a scroll. There it is. Over here, we're going to see the expansion. It's not up yet. He needs to find a way to buy more time, because here's an issue. One of the things you have to consider as well, and we saw this last game, how big of a deal it was. I mean, it didn't seem to play. I don't want to spoil last game, but I will say that this game, Look at the distance. This is an expansion that Yumiko is trying to defend. This is an expansion the elf is trying to get up. That is not a very big distance here. That is not a big distance. In fact, this is going to be a position that Yumiko decides to reinforce and fight at, which is going to be a pretty strong position. Also, he's staying on single hero for the panda. Once he gets level 5, he might decide to pick up a second hero, but he might just be trying to go for the fast 6. The fast 6 maybe is not a bad idea. If you get the panda ultimate, then you can have a bit more map control with it, but because it's hard to fight against that, especially with the style that the elf player, the human player is going to be playing here. But it's not impossible. Also, we're going to see a staff of teleportation being bought, picked up. I think you bought that earlier, maybe. Always fantastic item to have, at least when you're using it very actively, like we see human players like Yumiko do. Yumiko and Thu, they really use the crap out of it. This Tree of Life, it has gone up, and he is going to try to move down over to this expansion. But is it going to happen? Yumiko could easily scout this. Will he? Yes, he will, and he is going to come right on over here. Those towers aren't going to do much of anything for him, and the elf player, he's pretty much going to have to give it up, I think. I mean, he could TP in. If he wants to, he's going to have to get like a heck of a position here. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's just going to let it die. No, he's going to try to TP in, but it's nothing. No. He doesn't lose his TP for that, so it's okay, but yeah. The thing is had Yumiko quit attacking it, let him TP in, and then killed it, I'm not sure it would have been a good... I mean, unless that was like a perfect TP, Yumiko would have been in an okay spot. But I think Yumiko made the right decision to go ahead and kill it anyway. He's trying to crawl these towers over this way, and he wants... I think ultimately, I think Yumiko wants this gold mine. I think he wants it. So... If he had done that, he might have had to burn his own TP, and then that would have been iffy. Would have been iffy. Oh, he didn't actually have to kill that burn a farm. He just burned the trees. It's got mortar teams. I'm dumb. I should have correcting an earlier mistake if you caught it. Anyway, so yeah, Breath of Fire hitting pretty much nothing right there. It was all breakers, so that didn't do a whole lot. The Mountain King is so tanky. And he's not afraid of units whatsoever. The Mountain King's always kind of funny in these games, especially if there's no Demon Hunter to kind of deter him. He's going to stand right here. What's going to stop him? He can stand right there. These breakers can just run through any kind of tiniest little gaps. But yeah, the Mountain King's going to be able to easily tank those bears. Those guys do not scare him. The Dryads aren't going to do very much damage to him. The Mountain King is not a big deal either. He's got the Scourge Bone Chimes. Those are always a good unit to have when you have melee units such as bears, etc. But one of the concerns is that he's probably not going to be using it. He's not going to get a lot of effectiveness out of it because those bears, most of the time, their spending is really trying to get into a position to even attack. Against this type of play that the human player is doing. He's literally doing it these towers. This is really good. This is really clever. It may seem silly to have your towers like that because maybe it seems inefficient, but it's not, because the human player is someone who wants to keep backing up, and he's not afraid to lose towers. Losing towers is better than losing units. Units are mobile, towers are not, and towers don't cost food. So lose towers, no big deal. Yeah, so here we can see the panda. He's actually gaining some ground right here, but that's just kind of how it works. The only problem is Yumiko doesn't really have a lot of place to run except into his base, which is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's gonna be really difficult to break this right now. So what would be a lot better for the elf player is if he was breaking this down. That he would be getting a lot more benefit from trying to fight this down here. But he is solidly level 5, halfway through level 5. We just see level 1 on the Mountain King, level 4 on the Archmage. So the experience advantage to the elf player here, if he's running away like this, he's kind of getting chased down. It's not really the best. Natural choke point. Probably just never a good idea to try to force a human into their base in this situation. The only reason he's doing it is because he's got this expansion down here. And he doesn't want Yumiko out. He doesn't want Yumiko taking that down. Because if Yumiko takes that down, then naturally he is just completely out of options, because this is not going to last much longer. There's 1,080 gold left. Same situation down here, basically 2,200. Obviously this was harassed quite a bit, so about 1,100, about 1,100 gold behind, mined out of the main. That harass early was crazy good by that panda. And he's using these shredders as combat units. I definitely like that. They are immune to slow. That is fantastic. That is unbelievably good. They're immune to slow, which means that they can actually always connect, and they're going to be able to do a lot more forcing of the human player back. Mountain King getting a kind of bad spot, but he had a potion of lesser invulnerability. Going to be able to pop that. Not a big deal. Here comes level 6 on the Panda. He's ready to do something with it, but he doesn't have the mana. Going to have to pop the potion of greater mana. Going to take a hit from that arcane tower, but going to pop a breath of fire off as well. So now if he wants to use that ult, I believe he can. But if he wants to favor the the breaths of fire, then he's not going to be able to use that ult anytime soon. These two things here, they've taken a lot of damage, but I mean, the elf finally got that expansion alive, but so has to entangle the gold mine and get some wisp down there. Finally, he'll be able to start mining some additional income. You can see his supply is 59 out of 80 with very low resources, 250 gold, 473 wood. Human player, he's in a very low resource situation as well, but he's sitting at 68 food, and he's got this wonderful line of towers, which is going to be impossible. There's no way that the elf player could ever deal with this unless the human player just loses his entire army, because Yumiko, imagine here, Yumiko's fighting at this choke point, right? Okay, so first of all, he's gonna do a lot of damage. He's gonna be forced back up. Okay, does a lot more damage. Okay, you can start kind of hiding behind the towers. Okay, he's doing damage the entire time as he's retreating. He's losing towers, whatever. It doesn't matter, because by the time he gets back to about here, the elf army is dead. You know, it's gonna be dead. And this expansion, he has to get to about right here in order to kill the expansion. So that is almost an unassailable position at this point. It's not completely. I mean, the elf player could, if he stayed really low and just microed really well and use a lot of breath of fires, he could take it down. But it would be difficult. Anyway, that does also mean that Yumiko can have that gold mine, which means the Yumiko is going to be up 1 gold mine once again, just as the Panda or the elf player gets the 2nd gold mine, which is not fully saturated, but he's bringing some wisp down to go ahead and get that 5 counts up. Naturally, we might see tanks once again, potentially, just 1 or 2. We might not. Oh, you can slow these guys. Well, I forgot that. Obviously, I knew that. Someone's gonna be very angry that I said you can't slow them. I don't know. I kind of forgot that you can slow mechanical units. Okay, some mechanical units. There might be 1 or 2 that you can. Anyway, so this is a fight going on. The elf Panda has been used. The Panda ultimate has been used, rather. He's gonna force Yumiko back, but Yumiko's still sitting happily at 77 food. And the elf is sitting at 62 food. And also, the elf's got an ultimate. And look at this. His army is in just rags. It's wretched. It is terrible. Not really much you can do. I mean, in the back, we can see there's just... The human army is just fine, you know? All these fights, this melee line... The goal that the human has on this melee line push is to let the guys in the back rain down hellfire. That's it. That's all that. He doesn't have to do anything. The breakers, they're really difficult to kill breakers. Oh, the Panda's in a bad way. He's going to be forced to TP out. And this bear could easily go down. Look at this damage. All of these elf units are in so much. They're just in pain. The elf player is sitting at 42 food, and Yumiko is sitting at 73 food. He did manage to do some stuff here. He brought the Tree of Eternity over here. Yeah, that looks like the Tree of Eternity model, right? Maybe? No, it doesn't. What? I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on with that. But he doesn't care. He's entangling the gold mine. He says, well, I'm gonna have this, and then he stands back up as the human player comes in. Not giving up at level 7 on that Panda. He is bound to have a high level crit, so he can start hitting pretty bad just from the melee damage, but he is slowed. He's gonna have to contend with that. He already is a strength hero, so he does not attack very fast, and he doesn't have a whole lot more damage than, you know, standard. He's only got plus 12 because of Roar. I don't know how hard he's going to be hitting. Critical Strike on him, it doesn't hit as hard as Blade Masters, and also I don't think it's as often. I think it's 5% less as often and 1x less multiplier. I want to say, I don't know if that's true. I think it is, but I'm probably wrong. I haven't looked at the abilities in a long time. But I know it's weaker, but because it comes with evasion, it's kind of like a 2-for-1. So it makes him pretty tanky, but one of the issues is that he's not particularly tanky against breakers. especially if he's slowed. Wonderful breath of fire right there. Wow, that is gonna hurt. 248 damage crit. That's actually pretty respectable. It is level 3 because it's level 7. Because the panda is level 7, so he's level 3 on the breath of fire, level 3 on the critical, and level 1 on the panda ult. So it's good. Once he gets to level 8, he can get to haze and start doing haze fires. I mean, he is way ahead in terms of experience. He could actually maybe make that just work for him. Just having such a high level panda maybe could work for him. But Yumiko is sitting at 72 food, and the elf is sitting at 49 food. I mean, if the elf player plays the slow game really well, and Yumiko doesn't get really aggressive, then, you know, maybe the elf player can win. But we're gonna see Yumiko becoming very aggressive, so that won't probably happen here. I can't remember what that's called. The anti-magic shell potion, sure, whatever. The immunity to magic damage, but you can dispel it apparently. No, you can always dispel it. It's especially important to know as an undead because destroyers can eat it, and that's good mana. Anyway, so the panda ultimate gonna go off. And this is once again we can see the human player just goes right behind these towers, and that is such a good choke point, which means those mortar teams in the back can just rain down. The fire elemental yeah, that's what it is. Fire guy does by far the most damage out of the 3 of the Pandaren elementals, so it's always good to kill him first. Storm, obviously the next guy to kill, really, because you may as well. If you kill this, there's really just no point in killing the Pandaren Earth Elemental. You're better off killing bears, really. And this is the slow death as he walks away. He is level 8 on that panda, though, so that's kind of nice. 7 mana potion. Oh, he gets surrounded, too. That was really bad. That is probably going to end the game. He has no out for that. And there's no way that he can take anything down in time. That panda goes down. It's dead. GG is called. Taking it 2-0. It's Yumiko. Oh, I wasn't going to spoil, but it rhymed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's game number 2. It's naturally over. Actually, I guess I always spoil at the end of the game series. You should have watched. You should have watched them in order. If you didn't, that's not my fault. I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's game number 2. That's the series. So tonight we did that. We watched NAIDS and Yumiko duke it out for Ifeng Cup. Tomorrow we're going to be going back a little bit, about 6 months ago, and we're going to be watching some Moon replays. We have a few games, and I think you guys will enjoy them. It's going to be Elf vs Undead, so I think you guys will like that. And it's a little bit of a break from our usual Ifeng Cup casting that we've been doing here recently. Anyway, so that's going to be the games. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for watching. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. As always, goodbye. Which, that's not how I should say it. I don't know. Look, all I'm saying is goodbye. Goodbye. I'm done.